Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today I'm going to develop the library service here. So let me go to the IntelliJ. I already have created this library service project, and let me start with the development. So in the entity class, into the entity package, I'm going to create the library class. So I created it, and then let me go and let me create the instance here. So let me create the ID, which is of integer type, and let me create the library name and address, and let me create the ID, name, address, and email of the library. So let me create that private string email, something like that. So this four instance variable we have created for the library. Let me use all argument constructor, no argument constructor, data, and entity. Okay, and let me create the table for it. So let's say the table name is library, name is equal to library. Okay, so now let me put this as a ID. Okay, and it should be generated, auto generated. So for that I'm going to use the generated value identity. Strategy should be identity auto generated, generation type is equal to identity, so that unique ID will be created for it. So we are done with the development of the library entity class. Now coming to the repository, let me create the library repo interface here. So let me create library repo as an interface. Okay, and let me extend this interface with the JPA repository. So let me use the JPA repo here, and we need to provide these two arguments here, which is a entity. So entity is library, and the ID type of the entity, which is of integer type. So I'm going to use that. So we are done with this. Now coming to the service class, let me create the, okay, here I think, yeah, it is already included. Let me create the service for it. So the service is library service. Okay, let me create this, and let me annotate this class with the annotation called @service, so that we can create the bin out of it. Now coming here, let me create the methods. So let me create the method to insert library object or library record into the database. So insert library, and let's say its return type is library. Okay, and let me pass here the library as a reference, so that we can insert that library reference to the database. So to call the database methods, I need to auto wire the library repository here. So I'm going to do that. So private library repo, and let me create the reference of it. So with the help of the library repo, I will call the JPA provided method, which is save, and I will pass the reference here so that it can save it and then simply return that. So this is about this method, and coming to the other method, I'm going to create a get method. So simply copy paste it. Let me get library by ID, something like that, and here I'm going to provide the ID. So it is int ID, and I will call the JPA provided method, which is find by ID. So and we need to pass the ID here, and then we need to get it. So this is all what we need to do for the service. Now coming to the controller, let me create the controller for it. So it is library controller. Okay, let me annotate this controller class with the annotation call @rest controller, and @request mapping. I'm going to use some mapping here at the class level. So let's say it is library. Okay, now coming here, let me create the two methods, and before that I'm going to auto wire the service this library service class reference so that we can directly call the method that we have created there. So library service, and let me put the modifier for it. Now let me create the post mapping, and let me pass here insert. Let me create the method for it. So insert library, something like that, or insert lib we have provided here. Let me, its return type should be library type, okay, and let it make as a public. So modifier is a public, return type is library, and the method name is insert lib. And here I'm passing the, with the help of the request body, I will pass the request from the postman. So that is why I'm passing here the reference of library object I'm passing here. And with the help of this library service, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the same method that we have created, or insert library method that we have created here. Let me pass this and just simply return this. We are done with the post mapping. Let me copy it and paste it, and let me create the get mapping here. So let's say it is get mapping, and let me, this is the library, so I'm going to get the library object with the help of the ID, and I will pass this ID in the form of path variable. So I'm going to use the path variable here. Let me pass the ID here, and with the help of that ID I'm going to call the ID from the database. So why this is okay, so let me, I will check that. Let me come here and let me call the get library by ID and pass the ID here, and let's run the library here. So insert lib, okay, this is the name. Because of that we are getting the conflict. Let me change this, get by ID, something like that. And okay, why we are getting this library to library type, okay, which, okay, we are not using the library class that we have created. So let me import that class, and then it will, yeah, from entity we need to import it, so it will, so not, it will not show the error. So get library by ID. Okay, so we are good with the development of the mappings here. Now let me create the what I would say, let me create some records for each of these services that I have created. Before going to the record creation, let me come here, and I'm going to use the MySQL as a database. So let me do some configuration. I already have this configuration. So let me copy this and let me go there and the paste it. So come to the library service. Here I'm going to paste it. You can see this is the driver name and this is the URL, username and password. These are these are to show the Hibernate SQL query, and this is to directly create some database into the database when we are running the application. So this is about this, and I'm going to create one database called library service. So let me come here to the MySQL. Let me name it like library service, and let me apply and create it and finish it. Let me copy this, and I'm going to use this database for the library service. So come to the library service here, and let me replace here, and then this is the username and password. Everything is good. Now I'm going to make this service 2 up on the port number 9092. So this is for that. Okay, so we are done with this. Now let me run this application, and then I will show you that database with the a table with the name called library is created into the database that we have created now. So once it is done, I will insert couple of record into the book and the library service, and then in the next video we'll try to call each of the services in another service. So with the help of the REST template. So it is, you can see here one create table query is fired because of this only, and we are able to show because we make it true. So this thing is done. Now coming to the MySQL database, let me go to the library service that I have created. the database library service. So where is that? Here it is. Let me go to the table. Let me refresh this and let me show you that. Yeah, library table is created here. Come to this. Come here. Let me try to run this. Select star from library. You can see this is created. So now let me insert couple of records into the book service and the library service, and then I will see how the APIs that we have created for both of the services is working. After that, we'll try to call each service inside the other service. Now let me I have created these services. Let me come to the postman. Let me try to insert some record in each of the services that we have created. So come here to the book service. Let's say come to the book service, and you can see these are the instance variable that we are going to use. So let me come to this postman, and here you can see I'm going to insert some record into the book service. So book service is up on the port number 9093, and the URL for this is book. And here if you're going to insert this book service, so it is book slash insert, and let me change the method to post and come to the book service. And these are the instance variable name, author, and price, and ID is auto generated. So come to the postman, name, author, and price, and let me remove this ID. So these are the, let's say author is James, okay, and these are the price of book. So now we're done, and this book serv book service, we are using the database as a PostgreSQL. Okay, so you can come here and you can see we have already created this. Now let me select the book service and let me fire some query and then see how it is looking like. So you can see this is there. Let me come here, and the book service is up, I think. Yeah, the book service is up on the port number 9093. You can see here. Come to the postman. We are done with this thing, URL, and this is the post method, and we have created the request. Now let me send it and let's see how it is working. Okay, book and insert is not found. Okay, come to the book service. Okay, here you can see, come to the book controller. It is insert. I is in small, and this is the book. Yeah. So come to the postman again. Let me make this is small, and then try to hit this, and let's see how it is working. So one book record is created. Now you can come here, and from here you can also run this query and then see once record is created. Now coming to the postman, let me insert. Let's say we have only one record here, and let me come to the library service. Let me create one record there into the library service as well. So coming to the library controller, for library also we have the library and then insert, and this application is up on 9092. So let me come to the postman. Let me change the mapping 9092. It is library and then insert. Now coming to the instance, what we have in the library, come to the library entity, and then you can see name, address, and email is there. So come to the postman now, name, address, and let's change it to the email, and let me say it is Delhi. Name is Raman Library, something like that. Raman Library. Okay, and email is raman@gmail.com, something like that. And let me send this, and let's see how it is behaving. So you can see this is created. So let me go to the MySQL database. Let me run this library and then show you. So you can see this one record is inserted into the library and one record is inserted into the book database. So we are done with the insertion of it. In the next video, what I'm going to cover is I am going to show you how we are going to call the book service inside the library service and then library service inside the student service. So yeah, let me this is about this video. Let me cover the next topic into the next video. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel.